Okay, today we see how to communicate in a business environment. Okay, so talking, there is a difference between talking and communication. Communication means understanding. If you understand some message, then communication. This is communication, right? What is basically communication? You have to translate your ideas of your company in the form of a message. Okay, according to the standards set by your company. So you have to translate your ideas into some form of message, whether it is oral or non-oral, according to the standards set by the company, according to the policies, according to the procedures. You have to message, right? This is communication. Communication is what is understandable. Okay, communication must be effective. Without an effect, why it is effective? It means there should be some output. And when you design your message, the respondent or the receiver is in your mind. If you properly formulate your message, if you properly design your message, then receiver, it is easy for the receiver to receive the message and interpret it and reply. Okay, so good reply means your message design is good, your message analysis is good, your planning is good. Okay, so it is effective to create good reputation. So you have to consider reputation and have positive impact. Okay, so its impact should not be negative. Always communicate with the positive impact. It's your message should have positive impact. Okay, and this is the success of your organization. Time is the major factor in communication, and poor communication can cost valuable resources of an organization because you have to recommunicate. There are misunderstandings. Okay, basically we spend more than 50% of our time in writing. So written communication is very strong. Okay, should be very strong. A survey was conducted and it shows that time spent on writing your messages, for example, managers spend almost 50% of their time writing the messages, technical team 40%, clerical almost 30%, and social service workers, they have 55% according to the survey, right? So written communication means there will be a documentation. Okay, for example, a product manager develops and communicate product objectives and strategies. Okay, what should be the prime objective of a communication? The public image. What is the image of your organization in the public? What receiver understands about your organization? Okay, what you say and what you write affects company public image. When you talk with your customer, you represent your company. When you deal with international business, you reflect your country and also your culture. Basically, when you communicate, you have context. Okay, what is the context? Context is basically you represent your country, you represent your culture, your organization, your internal and external factors, forces. You reflect this context in your letters, memos, notes, emails, faxes, phone calls, meetings. Okay, online teleconference meetings if you are in a multinational company. So you need to consider this context first, and then second thing is sender encoder. Okay, you have to encode your message. Okay, when you send a message, you are basically an encoder. You use symbols, like you use words are symbols. What kind of symbols? whether it is capitalized, small, sentence structure, you use pictures, okay, you use graphics to get the right response from the receiver, because graphics and pictures communicate very well, okay. And you encode your message, and then what is the message? The real thing, message. You build main point of the message. First thing is the main point, main agenda. This is called the content part, okay. We have planned communication strategies, okay. There is planned communication strategies, and why we plan, why we spend time on planning? Because to get the right response at the right time. Right response at the right time. And then after the message, we have to use some medium. Okay? Maybe medium, maybe mobile, maybe WhatsApp, social media. Medium could be a printed word, an email, a sound. Okay? Medium also depends on urgency. How urgent your message is. You select the right medium by considering importance. Number one, what is the importance of the message? What is the number and authority of the receivers? Okay, who receive your message? What are the costs involved? And actual thing is, what is the amount of information? Okay, so these are the basically, when you plan your message, you have context in mind, you have encoding in mind, you have message and the medium. Okay, there is also oral communication. Okay, for immediate feedback, short sentences, conversational, quick action, less detailed technical information, and more imperative. Okay, so but in the oral communication there is no review process. Okay, in the written communication is used for delayed feedback. Oral is used for immediate feedback, and written communication is used for delayed feedback. And you use in the oral communication shorter sentences, and here in the written you use long sentences. Okay, and written communication is called formal communication. More focuses on the content. Okay, and action, because you have to write, reader has to read, so there is a delayed action. Okay, and if you want to communicate more technical information, then you use written communication, and you can record it permanently in the documents. Okay, and another thing is, there is no review in the oral, but there is a review process. You review your message in the written communication, right? Now we see who decodes. Receiver decodes your message. Okay, receiver decodes according to your basically what attitudes you follow, what are the abilities, what are the opinions, and you consider receiver communication skills. Okay, is there any increment in the problem? And then after that you have feedback. Receiver gives the feedback. Okay, if he understands well, then the feedback is well, and this is the success. So after decoding your message, receiver sends feedback. Feedback basically depends on how much receiver have understood your message. So he chooses verbal, non-verbal feedback methods according to your encoding technique, according to the understanding. Verbal feedback methods, we use denotation. Denotation means, this is the dictionary meaning of the word denotation, right? And there is also related with connotation. It is a suggestion. Okay, this is not a definition but a suggestion. Okay, then there is a term abstraction. Abstraction means focus on some details, okay, details of the message, and you have to remove unrelated things. Then you use inference. Inference means conclusions. Conclusions you draw from the evidences, okay. Then you use attitude. Receiver attitude toward a message determine whether it is accepted, receiver will accept, rejected, distort it, or avoid, simply avoid it, okay. It depends upon your attitude. And then in the non-verbal, non-verbal is basically without words, okay. Your message appearance. Non-verbal means basically it is a communication, but appearance is used, gesture, posture, your movement, your body language, smell, touch, silence, time, space, okay. So these are the parts of communication, okay. Then we have 7 C's. 7 C's means complete, your message should be complete, concise, okay, consideration, concrete, your message should be clear, courtesy should be involved, and your message should be correct, okay. So complete means all necessary information you have to give in the 7 C's. Complete, your message should be complete, information should be complete. So you use who, what, when, where, W5H, okay. You use that for the completeness. Concise means relative material. Concise means you provide the relative material. You don't waste the time, okay, time of the receiver. Relevancy. And consideration means you consider the right audience, okay, and you basically use you in place of I or we, okay. So you consider you means your audience, okay. I and we, you do not use these words, okay. Then concrete means you have, when you communicate, you have facts and figures. Use image building words, okay. So your message should be concrete. What is clear? Clear means you use words that is familiar to receiver, okay. If he does not know any language, or symbols are not relevant, or statistics are not relevant, data is not relevant, so receiver should be familiar with your words, with your picture, with your message, and you choose 17 to 20 words per sentence, okay. For the your message is clear, not more than that. This is the clarity, right? Then show some respect, courtesy, and be tactful, right? And your message should be correct. Correct means grammatically correct. It is very easy now. Everything is available online. In the tools, there is everything available. You use the right punctuation, okay, commas, semicolons, full stop, spellings, and should be, you have to check, double check your, you use, if you use some figures, you use facts, you have to double check it. Correct figures. Incorrect figures is miscommunication, okay. Then we see, after 7 C's, we have international communication. International means if your company is operating internationally, then there are basic national variables to any country. These are the things that directly affect population, okay. So how can we know culture? What is the culture basically? How we can know that what culture is there in any country? We basically research on knowing educational levels of the population, the legal conditions, what are the regulatory authority and the authorities' behavior towards the business. What are the decisions? Okay, national and foreign trade deficits, the political environment. What is the political environment? Okay, and the religion. Then you use social norms, you use languages, you even use foods. What are the foods there? Then you can analyze personal behaviors. Okay, what are the manners? Basically, what a country followed in a country, what is the procedure followed in arriving a business decision. Okay, and you use polite, what are the polite norms of language. Okay, so we have to research various organizations and journals before setting standards of communication. Okay, if you know the areas, these areas, then you will be successful in intercultural. Basically, there are different, every country has different culture. Then this is intercultural communication. Then what to overcome? You have to overcome unintentional misunderstanding. Okay, unintentional means receiver does not know the meaning of the message, so this is misunderstanding. He does not understand. Unintentional. Okay, your intentional ambiguous statements. Okay, you have to overcome intentional ambiguous statements. Then maybe receiver cannot translate the words, so lack of words translation. Then your problem should be real. Okay, basically you have to model ethical behavior and use it as managerial tool. Okay, ethical behavior, your ethics also, you have to consider the ethics. Okay, so managers need to aware personal and national ethics. How to aware? How to know? Religion, people, culture, philosophy, law. Okay, these are, if you analyze these, you know the national ethics, personal ethics. Then comes the use of technology. Okay, what is the use of technology? This is very easy. Okay, we face challenges, basically different challenges in handling new technologies. For example, we use emails, we create groups, we create pages on Facebook, we create social media, different Twitter, WhatsApp, Facebook, Pinterest, blogs, okay, teleconferencing, okay, information gathering and sharing via different means. We can say computers or via social media. So to use the technology, basically you choose a spokesperson. Okay, the large companies choose a spokesperson. Okay, we choose a spokesperson in training. Train the spokesperson to communicate according to the business norms, according to our strategy, according to the business needs. We have to use effective communication tools to reduce cost, time, and we have to increase our efficiency. Okay, the must thing is receiver must understand. Okay, and do not use wrong words or incorrect data in the reports. Okay, then comes how to plan your message. How to plan your message. So planning is very important. Planning, in the planning step, when you plan a message, first thing is you identify the purpose of the message. If you know the purpose of the message, your message is good. Okay, then you analyze the audience. Who are the receivers? What is the authority of the receivers? Then you collect data to support your words, to support your sentences, your paragraph, your meanings. Okay, so you collect sport ideas, sport data, then you organize your message. Okay, this is the planning. So sole purpose is good communication. For example, we can say this is bad communication. For example, we say we have shipped your order today by courier. Okay, and this can be corrected by, for example, 5 books. So this is what? Data. 5 books which are ordered on when? For example, Feb 5 2020. Okay, were shipped to you today by courier. So there are facts. You have to analyze, collect the data. What is the data? So this is the message. This is the correct message. Okay, we have shipped your order by courier. This is not a good message. Okay, you have to use facts and figures and the right data. Okay, we also in the planning process we consider W's, 5 W's and H. Okay, in the Western countries use basically direct method of communication, and Asia, South America and Middle East use indirect approach. So we have to consider the approaches also. We have to revise and edit 7 C's. Revise the 7 C's. Correctness, courtesy, completeness, clarity. Okay? What are 7 C's? Sentence structure, language clarity, correct grammar, spelling, punctuation. Okay? So this is in the short description of how to plan your message. Next is design of your message. How to design your message? What is the design? Basically, there is a design of the business letter in the form of memos, in the message, how to message in the media. Okay, so basically business letters are used for outside communication, outside of the organization, and memos are internal. Okay, so in the business letter you consider, because it is outside, so quality, size, color, letterhead, envelopes. Okay, and what is the content? Headings, date, inside address, salutation, body, closure, so closing the message, signatures. Then you use there are references. Okay, and memos are internal to inside your organization, and memo part is basically heading, to, from, and there should be date, subject, telephone, department, and comments, reply. Okay, and what media we should consider? Email, telegrams, mailgrams, telexes, teleconferences. Okay, basically email is used for quick delivery. Okay, it is less formal. Okay, teleconferencing, not all companies afford teleconferencing, meetings, all etc. So this global companies use these teleconferencing methods. Okay, now we see what is bad news messages. Okay, so if there is bad news, whether you are replying to a request or initiating an unsolicited message, you have 2 choices. Okay, method is indirect communication. Okay, there is no direct. So first approach is use buffer. Okay, explain, and your closure should be you close your message positively. Second method is you use buffer, short explanation, then decision, then longer explanation, and closure should be positive. Okay, example, for example, we consider the example. What are the bad messages? Refusing a claim from customer, letter to charge the customer, refusing an adjustment on a bill. This is a bad message. Refusing credit. Okay, cutting off credit, rejecting a job applicant, okay, rejection letter. Then maybe there is a bad news announcement, maybe refusal letter, annual report project, okay. You can use ADA for this, okay. ADA is basically attention, interest, desire, action, okay. Interest, desire, action and attention. No, attention and I is interest, D is desire and A is action. You use this formula, okay. So be attentive, take interest, show some desire and take the action, okay. Then we have different kinds of report. Reporting is the fundamental in communication reports. This is the output, right? What are the reports? There are short reports. For example, we have conference reports, we have progress reports, we have periodic reports, we have memo reports, we have letter reports, okay. So these reports have different parts. For example, introduction, body. What should be in the introduction? You should explain the purpose, what is the aim, what is the authorization, what are the sources, what is the scope of this report, what is the definition. So you include the definition, you also include the background, what are the limits of this report, what are the results, okay, results of this report, okay. And in the introduction you also list the topics, okay. Then in the body you use the content. This is the content. Basically you use facts, you emphasize important ideas using graphics, using visual aids, using sounds, graphics, media, multimedia, right. Then there is closure or terminal section. There you use summary, conclusion, recommendation, okay. So then is progress report. Progress report. In the progress report we have introduction, purpose, nature of the project, then we have description, then we have problem definition, plans for the next report, we have summary in the progress report, okay. For the letter reports we have data, inside address, salutation, body, complimentary clause, signatures, references, and we can use memos, periodic reports, progress reports, conference reports, letter reports. These are reports can be emailed, okay. Now we have long reports. Long reports basically title is the first part in the long report, okay. So you also consider in the title who, what, when, where, why, okay. This is the title. Letter or memo, okay. Long reports basically who authorized the report, okay. You should consider who authorized the report, what is the authorization. Then this is informal in the long report, okay. Be informal, and you should include in the long report the highlights, okay. 80% people only read 2 or 3 pages, first 2 or 3 pages, okay. First two or 3 pages. So your end should be with the courtesy, okay. Also in the long reports there is a table of contents, because a reader has to read the table of contents and maybe he knows many things, then he can choose where to go. Okay, what should be in the minimum time he can read important facts, important topics, important headings. Okay, so you can use in the table of contents tables, supplementary tables, right? You can use visuals. Okay, you can list the visuals. You can use statistics, figures in the table of contents, right? Then in the end you use bibliography, footnotes. And footnote means foot of the page. Foot of every page there are important explanation of any word, term. End note means end of the document. Okay, these are end notes. You can use appendices, glossary, index for long reports. Okay. Then there are proposals. So basically there are two kinds of proposals: research proposals and business proposals. Okay. What are the parts? We have title page, then we use summary or abstract, then contract, then table of contents, introduction. We also include background. What are the procedures? What is basically the equipment of the procedure? Okay. Then personal. What are the personal involved? What is the budget? Okay. And then we use appendices. There are long formal proposals. For example, we have RFP. RFP means request for proposal. Chronology of procedure. There are tenders, government projects, government proposals. Okay, right? So this was about proposal. Then we have meetings. Okay, what is basically a meeting? A meeting is group of people wasting time on topics of unimportance. Okay, so they waste the time on unimportant topic, right? So your topic should be important. You should not waste the time. Okay. What is a group? How to make a group basically for a meeting? There are different stages: forming, storming, norming, performing. These are the stages to form a group. So why to make a group? Because we have to solve a problem. How to solve a problem? So we use orientation, conflict methodology, emergence, solutions. So what are the steps to solve a problem in the meeting? We should have background analysis. What do you mean by what is background analysis? Define limit of problem. Okay, and you have facts. You have to collect the facts. Okay, then solution. For the solution, you establish a criteria. You check against a criteria. Basically, you list all the possible solutions. Okay. Then there is evaluation procedure. Evaluation means you check. Okay. Inspect. You can say what will be the consequence of adopting the solution. Okay. What is the result? What is the consequence? What are the dangers? Are there any dangers? What is the effect of solution? Basically, effect of solution according to your future of your organization. Okay. Then you choose the action. Okay. Then there is a leader in the meeting. Leadership. What kind of leadership? Who should lead the meeting? Leaders. Whether it should be authoritarian or it should be leaderless, it should be democratic, or you participate the public participate the participants can include the comments, democratic, okay. And also before meeting means you have to plan something. You have to, first of all, you have to review the problem and find actual purpose. What is the purpose of the meeting? And then you say that, okay, this is the purpose, who should participate? Okay? Then you can say, when participants are there, then you can arrange meeting according to your date, time, and you can fix place. Okay? And next thing is, before meeting you create the agenda. What is the agenda of the meeting? And then after creating the agenda, you announce the meeting. Like you have Outlook, and there is reminder after 5 minutes that there is announcement of the meeting, right? You announce the meeting. Meeting will be conducted on this, okay, at this place, on this date and at that time, right? And then after announcing, you have to check the physical arrangements, okay? So multimedia, everything should be there, because there are problems with you should check the everything, electricity, everything, right? And your equipment should be working, okay? There should not be delay. You should not waste the time of the participants, right? Now, meeting there. Now, what is the procedure during the meeting? Someone has to make an opening statement or introduce. Then all people discuss. They discuss with each other. So you have to also consider roles of participants. For example, there are task roles, there are maintenance roles, there are individual roles, okay? And you end the meeting with the conclusion, and you conclude and you set the plan of action, okay? Plan of action is the last thing in the meeting, okay? So this was about introduction in the communication. You use different parts of communication. You use 7 C's. International communication is difficult. You have to consider the culture, norms of the different countries. You have to use cost-effective technology. You have to plan your messages. Planning is very important. You have to design your business message in the form of reports, proposal, memos. If there is bad news message, then you have to use different method, okay, to communicate. Then there are reports, short reports, for example, conference report, progress report, periodic report, memo report, letter report. These are short reports. We have long reports, okay. So long reports, reporting means you have to, in the messages, you have to you have facts and figures, okay. You have to communicate actual facts. Then the reply or the response from the public or the response from the whether it is internal or external, okay, you can get the right response, okay. Then you can use expert judgment also, okay. You can use case studies. Then comes the proposal, okay, and finally the meeting, okay. So there are steps to solve a problem. So what are the actions you should take before the meeting, during the meeting, and what is the outcome of the meeting? Plan of action, okay. So this was the introduction, okay. Thank you very much.